this time because it's going to be just kind of like a fun little show. Because the last time I came on I was on her show over the weekend.
Yes.
We opened this the thing singing. Well, I don't know what I did was called
Yeah,
singing.
I mean, I sound like a dying
You sound
horse or
better than I
something.
did.
No, I don't.
Yes. No, she's. I got her. 30 seconds into the show, I got her blushing already. This is hilarious.
Yes.
Yes. Like, no, I don't sing.
No.
Yeah,
No, I'm not singing tonight.
You're not gonna get me to sing. See, if we had waited just a week, she would have been all doped up on drugs, and I would have gotten her to sing anything.
Possibly, yes. Possibly, I would have been. Thank you for moving me to this week. It helps.
Like I said, regardless of what anyone thinks, I do know the shots can take an awful lot out of you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and I'm not only getting the COVID booster, I'm getting the shingle shot at the same time. So I am sorry. I did say that out loud. Just a little bit.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not. I look at that.
I got the flu shot and the shingle shot at the same time too. So I just won't lift my arms.
I'll be like this.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, hello.
Do you know what you should? You know what you should
like
do?
Peanuts,
Do you know what you should do? Because you got a TikTok account, right?
Yeah.
When you get the shots, you should post on there. I can't move my arms and just do some like dance stuff on there and just do like the worst dancing steps ever.
Pig pen dancing.
Yeah. No, totally. No, do it. Just do it. Look, you might as well have fun with it, right? You just might as well have some fun with it. You know you're going to be in the situation you're going to be in.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean,
fun.
Yeah. It's I'm putting up my Thursday motivation. I have been so behind all week, right? So my Thursday motivation for everybody listening is it's okay to make mistakes, right? Never have regrets.
Right. And always learn to laugh at yourself.
Oh, good God. I do that all the time.
Absolutely healthy.
Oh, no, shit. Oh, shit. I make fun of myself all the damn time. I do it on my show. Hell, for the other show I do, me with Boss, we were talking about like topping myself. No, I'm not trying to top myself. I'm just trying to have fun. Yeah, tell me no. I'm good with it. I just like tell me no if you want to tell me no. I don't care. I'm just here to have fun now. I built the show into a formula. I know the formula of the show, so now I'm going to start playing with it. So
Right.
like that's just it, right? Like the first phase of building a new show, any kind of show, is you got to figure out what the show is, and once you figure out what the show is, you can kind of go and play with it in a whole bunch of different directions. Again, because you have a base formula to go back to. So if I screw up, well, I have a basic template that I can always
that you
use.
can fix. Yes.
Yeah.
You can, tried and true.
Exactly. So I've built. So I got my template. It's been out of the prototype machine, right? So now I'm like, okay, let's see if I can make some even more fun Play-Doh. Whack.
Yes.
She's laughing at me because she just can imagine me with Play-Doh. I could just imagine. It's like I may have.
Well, I like Play-Doh. It's kind of fun. I used to like doing it on the comics and then peeling it off and seeing like Archie on your Play-Doh.
My inner comic book collector. There's a little.
Oh, was that Silly Putty? It wasn't Play-Doh. It's Silly Putty.
It's Silly Putty. Still, there's a little part of me that's a comic collector that died just a little bit that you said that. On the other hand, because it's what it does to the comics.
It's in the newspaper.
The newspaper, not the actual comic. Okay.
No, not the comic book. No, this is the comics.
When you said comics, it was like
the Sunday comics that were in color and delivered every week. Yes, I'm old. We're back to that.
I still remember that shit too.
Yeah.
It was still there when I was there. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm 40. I mean, the comics didn't fully disappear until about 10 years ago. So I mean, it's not like it's like I mean.
Yeah, but you were really young.
I was really. I guess. Yes, I was. I was reading Peanuts at like 7. I was reading. So my favorite ones were BC. Yeah. I love me BC. Calvin and Hobbes, because who doesn't like that one?
Horrible Hagar.
Hagar the Horrible is
Yeah, Hagar the
fantastic.
Horrible. Yep.
Hagar the Horrible is
And I
fantastic.
love the Far Side. That was in a
They
long time ago.
I think from okay, out of all of them,
Hmm.
Instagram, you can do a Far Side comic on Instagram. You
Yes.
could legitimately do it, and it would
Hmm.
not be hard. I
Hmm.
think it was 50-50 with me. It's
Hmm.
50 it was a 50-50 book. Like when it was good, it was
Hmm.
good. Sometimes it was even silly for me. It's like
Oh,
right, yeah.
my favorite one was the stick men playing volleyball, and somebody was going like this without a head, and somebody goes, "This isn't the ball." That is still my favorite one.
You're you're a little disturbed. Yeah, you're playing with somebody. Just slow. Just a
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
then it doesn't stand the snowball's chance in hell, and then you see the snowball. But I also like the hell with the doors that say murderers this, and then people who drive too slow in the fast lane. Yes, there's a door in
Oh
hell for
yeah,
that.
no, those guys are dicks.
Yeah,
Those guys are
yeah,
complete assholes.
yes. We were
Right,
driving.
because again, it's like you don't mind that you're driving slow. Why are you
Mm,
in this lane? Like, why are you here?
right.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
we were driving home last night in a 2-lane road in New Hampshire, a highway, and it was spritzing. Of course, we're in a Prius, so it's harrowing as it is in the snow. But somebody in a truck, a 4-wheel drive truck, was going 30, and we couldn't move over because the other lane wasn't plowed. And it was just like, you have a truck, you have a New Hampshire license plate. Why do you live here if you don't know how to drive in the snow? We're in a Prius. We're going faster than you.
So
Why?
just for clarity's sake, just
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, that's my son.
we are interrupted
By
by
William. I don't fear
William.
the Reaper. Yes.
Don't fear the reaper.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason that song says. We'll get into that in a minute, but
Yes.
I bring it on like this just simply because how do I put this also delicately?
Yeah.
Um, was it like a transport truck or was just someone locally there? Because if someone locally
No,
there,
it was just like a Ford 150.
okay,
Yeah,
a soccer mom truck.
possibly,
Well,
but it was just
yes,
like
yeah, no, a soccer mom truck. That's what they call a soccer mom
Mm,
truck. It's like it's for the
mm,
soccer
mm,
moms. Hey, what is this for? This
mm,
is for kids, and I'm
mm.
driving, and I'm afraid of the snow. So why are you driving?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
I get it. I totally get it.
yeah.
No, like I said, this week has been an interesting one for me. Like I said, I made my first commercial for a client on
Yep.
last week. I have not used my creativity this much. Like I've always wanted to create. It's starting to happen. The
Hmm.
thing I wasn't expecting is the creative fatigue. It does hit you when he makes a
Yes,
living in a very, very different
yes,
way.
yeah.
It's like, yes. As she goes, looks at her son's phone. I wonder what he's
Yes, I
doing.
am. Sorry. I'm just saying, okay, is everything okay? Because they're driving up here
Hmm.
this weekend. They were supposed to come next weekend, but they're driving up. So I'm like, okay.
Like, okay, you're welcome to come, but
Yeah. I
shrug.
I said call dad's phone because dad's in the other room.
And dad's gonna be like, "What are you bothering me for?" Oh yeah, that's right. Your mom's getting interviewed. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
what's up? Yes.
And then of course on the after effect, I'm like, is everything okay? Because it's like, you know.
It's okay. It's all good. So
Hmm.
you're pretty like I looked at your big giant collage of books. You're in a fuck ton of them. Like you just
Yes.
as this, yeah.
Yep. 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 And
It just caught up on you, didn't it?
what?
You're just writing so many books. Like one day you just walk up and you realize like, holy crap, I've done a lot of these.
Well, when I did that post on my readers group or my page that had all of them, I'm like, and that one didn't have any of the box sets. I was like, oh, holy crap. I've written a lot of books. Yes. And 14 years. So,
I'm currently at 6.
hmm,
Yeah, I've written 3 in the
okay.
last. Yeah, I got a long way to go to catch you. Got a long way to go. Although 7 isn't too far behind 6, so
Mm,
I'm kind of scared about 7. I'm drawing it, so
yeah.
it's like I don't know if I'm going to do this well or not. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better, so we'll see what happens. Yeah,
True. Yeah.
yeah.
Next weekend, Will was supposed to be here on the show on Saturday night, with us for the wrap up on Spelling Inc. But no, they switched weekends. A lot of things happened. As I said, it's been a rough week here for us.
Are
From
you guys
you
are
know,
you guys are you guys okay? Like just
we are, but my son-in-law's father passed away suddenly.
ah ah.
So everything is, we went down to Connecticut Tuesday night, took care of the kids on Wednesday, came back up here.
So
So
you've been the support group for for the last little couple few days. So
support group, and then my son is taking care of the dog next weekend, so he couldn't come up here. So we switched weekends, and oh yes, it's just, it's sad, but it was not expected. So, it was
I'm
like,
sorry to
oh
hear.
my.
No,
Yeah,
I'm truly sorry to hear.
yeah,
So it's just
I
like one
know.
of those things where just I looked at that and go, my
It,
condolences to everybody, and I wish the best. Like that's all I can really say because
mm,
I'd be lying if I said I would be lying if I said I'm mournful
mm,
for your loss, and that's all I can really offer
mm.
you. So
Yeah,
uh,
it's just what it is, and it kind of makes you think like, okay, well, our plans for retirement maybe aren't as insane as we thought.
no,
You know, sooner the better because you never know.
I
God can cash in the chips anytime.
well see
Mm,
I'm young enough that I don't
mhm.
think I'm going to retire. Like I think the reality of
Mm.
the situation is for like there
Well, I
like
have a day job. I
what.
wouldn't. I have a day job, so
Yeah,
yeah,
no, but even with the day job,
yeah, yeah.
I came to this conclusion.
Mhm,
So I'll just give you some background with me. My
mhm.
grandmother, dude, had to retire due to injury in the late
Yeah,
'90s, like
yep,
bad injury at work.
yeah.
And what ended up happening was the company changed the name, so she
Oh,
lost
okay.
out on her. She lost. This was back in the days when they were doing that to get out of paying
Yeah,
people retirement. So she
yeah.
lost out. And
Mm,
it dawned like and this is in the '90s when
mhm,
retirement was a much more guaranteed quote unquote thing.
mhm.
We're in 2020, and
Yeah,
I'm watching the way the world's going.
mhm,
I don't care whether you have a day job or not. I think the days of how we view retirement, I think, is going to be a major difference going forward.
mm,
Um, I get the
mm.
feeling in your case you're trying to get out sooner than later because you got shit to do.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I got more stories in my head, and there's only so much time while I'm working a day job to get them out of my head. And I keep thinking that, if I ever get senile, I'm not gonna know who the hell I am because of all the stories in my head. I will get to be all these
I see. I
millions
don't.
of characters with all
I
these
see.
lives.
See, I see you in a future, a more permanent pick pen dancing than in your mind going because it's just way. The funny thing is that the more we use our mind, the tendency is the less likely
Mhm.
it's going to break down. Like it's when we
Right,
stop using these things that they atrophy
right.
and they start to disappear.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how it works, right? You don't lose it overnight, but you do lose it if you're not careful.
Right.
I don't see you ever not writing, right?
Oh, no, I don't ever see that either, so
Yeah.
no.
I could
Mm,
see you. I could see you going. I'm not going to do 3 books a year anymore.
mm.
I might go to 1 book, but I'm gonna have fun. Like Robert J. Sawyer
Yeah,
at this point in his career is he's publishing for himself. He's just writing the books he wants to write. He doesn't give a shit, and
yep.
I think that's like
Mhm.
I think the difference between me and then people in your generation. I'm just trying to get to where you guys are now. I just don't care. I don't have a pot to piss in because frankly,
Yeah.
I don't foresee like I just being honest here. I don't really foresee a world. I'm going to have to create my future, and what
Mhm,
retirement's going to look like is not going to be what a
mm.
company gives me. It's going to be what I make for myself,
Right.
and that's how I see it. I've seen it this way for a very long time. Now that I've been
Mhm.
freelancing, and again, like it's almost at a living, which is kind of like a really crazy thing that I've hit that point. When I
Mhm.
hit that point, and I say that when I hit that point,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go back. I'm just gonna at that point, it's gonna be my life is gonna be the projects I wanna do, for who
Mhm.
I wanna do it, for how much I wanna do it, and that's it. And then there's gonna come a point where I'm gonna, like, want to do the work. There's
Yep.
gonna be points I don't want to do the work,
Oh, I
right? And
know.
that's it, right? And
It
that's it. And I'm gonna make and again, what I'm doing is I'm putting myself in that position where I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I think that's universal.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's where
I
I will be.
Yes.
And yeah, it's kind of freeing and, with situations like what we've just gone through, it's like, okay, I could work another 8 years
Do you
in
really want
corporate
to?
America. No.
Do you really want to?
Maybe not.
No, see,
But,
but see,
you
I think
know
we all hit that, like, place in our minds, and we all hit it. I think we just hit it. The generations older than me still working, still came
Mhm.
from an era where jobs were much more guaranteed.
Yep.
People younger than me that have that mentality, I question their sanity.
Yeah,
Yeah, I question
exactly.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Older, I can kind of understand,
Mm,
but even so, I mean, I think you're kind of just
mm.
seeing the writing on the wall too, in the
Yeah.
sense that
I wanna have
if
fun. I don't wanna work until I die.
yeah,
And writing for me is not work.
yeah,
It's an outlet of sorts. I mean,
yeah.
if I could make $1,000,000 doing it, I would be really happy, but I
It
think
might,
we all would be, right?
and the thing is, it might happen. Like, so, like one of the things about this business is it's a backlist business. You have an
Mhm.
impressive backlist.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you do. Like, I'm not no blowing smoke. I think one of the things I'm learning to do with this book, because I'm going to
Mm,
be probably kickstarting the physical copy of it in the
mhm,
springtime,
mhm,
is I'm trying to learn how to advertise it now. Like, I'm going to be investing. I invested with Heidi Engel and doing some stuff with her. I got to actually finish some stuff
mhm.
this week actually for her. So the rest of my week, I'm not looking for a freelance gig. Next week, I'm just prepping to advertise my shit because that's an
Yep.
important thing. But like for me, the mind shift for that has been I'm a writer trying to make money. And
Yep.
I think, and I don't have this idea that there's no money in writing it. That's bullshit. I think
Right.
it's more like I think the reality is am I approaching this like this is what I'm going to do? Or am I approaching
Mhm,
this as I'm just gonna have fun? There's nothing wrong with either approach, by the way.
mhm. Right.
There's nothing wrong with either approach, but you gotta be honest with what your approach is before
Right.
you leap. And if you just want to do it as a hobby and you just make some awesome books and in the process, I know I've interviewed a few authors that do that. There's nothing wrong with that. They're great.
Mm.
They're happy people, and they make some killer books too. It's like and then I've seen people. It's like I can make a fuck ton at this, and they
Yeah.
do,
Right. Right.
right?
I mean, yeah, I've started to do some of the things. I hired a PR guy. I don't know how successful that will be. I'll see when it's, said and done, but I'm getting a lot more airtime, a lot more
Yeah,
interviews and things like that that'll start flowing out soon, and getting my face out there. This
yeah.
lovely little face.
We just did a happy face little meme and did a little gesture there for everybody there.
Yes.
So yes, we are
So,
as you see, we take both of us, Jane and I, take ourselves super serious.
super
It's super
seriously,
yes,
yes.
yes.
I'm just all about having fun. I have
No,
always been
that's
this way, live, love, and
yeah,
laughter,
yeah.
and
No,
and
no,
then it says with family down here, but I'm not gonna stand up so you can see
no,
it,
no,
but
no, no. That's I believe you. I'm not gonna argue with you, Jane. I'm just not gonna argue. I no, it's like again, it's just about being honest about what your goals are. Like for
right.
me, I don't think I have it in me to work for somebody else again. Like not as a regular. I just don't think I
Mhm,
have it. So I I
mhm,
I, I think for me, it's just the mentality I've had is gonna go to work. I'm going to go find work. I'm
Mhm.
going to make money doing the work. I'm just going to go out and
Mhm.
make my thing as regular as possible. And over time, like balance, like again, keep my creative stuff going too. Like the stuff I want to do creatively that I want to expand my brand
Mhm.
that way. There's a plan for
Mhm.
that. But now my approach is very much how to build again the very because I have a platform that people do listen to.
Yeah.
So and like a lot of people listen to this. I like no one's more shocked than me, right? But I
Like,
mean,
yay!
well, but again, I've worked at it, right? So and
Yeah.
that's the thing. I've worked at it. I it takes an awful lot of self belief to really get going in this.
Mhm.
But once you have it, you can make all kinds of stuff happen. And I think so. I guess my big question to you is, while I do get the impression that you're always going to have fun, that's just who you are.
Mhm.
I also get an impression in your case, somewhat. It was also about getting ready to take those steps that you need to take to take it to the next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah, because there's a time crunch right now. And I'm trying to maneuver it to take it to the next steps within the time I have,
mhm,
you know, without losing the writing time, because the writing time is very important. The other stuff is important too, but
no,
when you have what, 6 hours in an evening,
oh yeah.
that you're splitting between, dinner and then, socializing a little bit, maybe. And writing and then doing your marketing and all of that stuff packed in. There's a certain amount of, things that I know I could do better, and I'm trying, like getting the word out there in different avenues.
That's one of the hardest
Um,
things for a lot of writers to
yeah.
struggle with. It's that self-conscious. What but my stuff isn't that impressive, right? And that it's so counterintuitive because
Mhm,
um I get it. It sounds like you're being a
mhm,
braggadocious son of a bitch
mhm,
or asshole, whatever you want to say, just to do it. But we live in a business where the grease, like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. It always it
mhm,
will be that way on some
mhm.
level,
Yep.
right? So
And
you
I
got to
and I I'm a novice at GIMP. I don't have Photoshop, so I'm a novice at
me
GIMP,
too.
which
Me too.
yeah,
I was playing with GIMP last night
yeah.
actually.
And it's like, okay, I have to learn to make, the promos, and things that I put out on Facebook and Twitter and things like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
You actually just
I
reminded
gotta
me
get
of.
off my ass and learn this.
Oh yeah, it's a never-ending education. Like I'm teaching
Right,
myself like bits and pieces of GIMP. I don't think it's ever going to be my main avenue,
right.
but I need to know something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The conversation with my husband quite a few years ago. Do I get Photoshop? Spending that. And he said, well, where is your time most
yeah.
valuable? And it's like writing. He said, then focus there because, this will take time away from that. And he was absolutely right.
Mhm.
For me to master Photoshop, it would have taken, a
It,
big chunk and
and also
61 books would not have been written.
that's right.
Yeah.
61 books. Like
Yeah.
that's an impressive number, right?
Yes. I want to
So
get to 66.
I think you're gonna go.
Next year, I wanna get to 66.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll put it that way.
I'll buy that.
That's my goal.
I somehow feel you're gonna hit 100.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sure
gonna
I
hit
will.
100.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll surpass that. And it's funny because, the other person who owns the publishing house that we own, he has over 100 books. He
Yeah.
works in IT. So he works in the same, you know, same realm as I do. So, but he's got like he you think I'm prolific. He's just blowing me away in that manner.
So, yeah, but I think again, it's about priorities too, right? And
Mhm.
what's again, it's not about how many books you write. I mean,
Mhm.
to some degree it is, but the reality is it's not.
It's
It's
not the
about
number, it's the content too.
the content, yes.
Mhm.
But I think it starts and ends with the effort too.
Mhm.
I have fucked up in every conceivable way you can imagine. Like the last book launch, I
Mhm.
missed the cutoff for like the ARC version to the really good version by 30 minutes.
Oof.
I was so choked. It was like,
Yep.
oh, I can't.
Well, this is why I schedule my editors in advance.
Well, no,
And this is where I'm like,
so,
oh, I
but no,
haven't booked you in March.
but
Shit.
it's also me. It's also me learning to balance doing another show on top of,
Right.
like, again. I have, I've literally hit the point. I have a creative life. So the next step
Yep.
for me is to make it as lucrative as possible, and that's the
Mhm.
next phase. And I don't think, now again, maybe I'm a cocky son of a bitch, but I don't think it's going to take that long for me to make it lucrative,
Probably
right?
not.
Yeah,
Not I mean, not if you're motivated and this
yeah,
is part of,
yeah. No, but that's just it, right? I have that faith and confidence that I can do it. I have a number I want to make per month. If I and that my goal is to hit that by March, because if I hit
Mhm.
that by March, I can
Mm.
stay in the mountains.
Yes.
If I want,
Yes.
right? And everybody's like, and everybody that looks at my pictures from my Instagram are like, I hate you so much. I hate you so much because that's
I
what.
have mountains right out there.
Yeah, I know.
Not as majestic as the ones in
Canmore,
what is it? Uh,
Canmore,
Calgary?
Alberta. Canmore, Alberta.
Okay. Western Canada.
Fair enough. We'll go with
I'm
that.
the
We'll go with
Western
that. We'll go with that.
Canada.
We'll go with that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So this is like before dinner time for you. This is after
Well, yeah.
dinner time for me.
Well, yeah. By only by a little bit. I actually had a late lunch because
Okay.
again, one of my main mistakes. The commercial gave me a really wonderful idea for this week's episode of my show,
Yep.
and I even got a friend of mine see if I could, also just as a quiet thing since I'm doing so. Hey, I'll advertise my friends and all my shit. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but but the thing is, I mean, it's not my show. I'm paid to do the show. It's not really my
Mhm.
show. It's the company's show. So the company made a decision, and
Yes.
I had to make some last minute changes. My fault.
Okay.
My
Mm,
fault. My mistake.
mhm,
But here's the thing. Like, this is what I've learned in this life. You
mhm.
own your mistakes. People will let you make them. Like, that's the
Yes.
one thing I've learned about this life is you can make a zillion different ones, and as long as you're not making the same mistakes,
Yes.
right? As
Oh,
long as you're
yes.
making
Oh, yes.
yes, as long as they're not the same ones, they're going,
Mhm.
or at the very least, the variation is interesting enough that no one thinks you're an idiot. That's
Right.
yeah, that's right. That what it comes down to is um you're allowed to do it, and
Yeah.
there's almost in one sense the only real mistake you can truly make is
Is
not
not
owning
trying at all. Yeah.
that. I would say not trying and also not owning up.
Yeah.
Those are the
Exactly.
two. As long as you can do those two things,
Oh, I've made plenty,
yes.
especially, as a young writer. I mean, the funniest mistake I made, I did not know what a agent query letter should be. I have a business background. I'm writing it as a business letter. It's like, no, I burned so many bridges that way.
It
So,
happens, right? You just, I mean,
but
that's
it's
part of
just
the
like,
game.
and then I, happened to show somebody who actually had an agent and had been in the business what I was doing, and she's like, oh no, this is not. This is a
No,
lovely business letter, but it has nothing to do with getting an agent to want to read what you want them to. I'm like, oh, it's
no,
supposed to
this
be
is
about the
no, no, no,
story,
no,
not
no,
about me.
no. Well, they do care a bit about the person because there's some things they
Yes,
want to know. Like, for
right.
example, are you coachable?
Yeah.
Can you be worked with?
Mhm.
Um, are you
But
willing to?
that's after you get them to wanna ask for pages in the book. That is the goal of a query letter.
Yeah, the goal of a query letter is to entice somebody to go, I want to know more. That's the
Yes,
whole goal,
exactly.
right? Now,
It's
there
not a
are
dry business letter.
no, that's not no.
No.
Although your personality in that letter can win you some points, it does because
Yes,
it
but
can. Yeah, not the no. I
no,
totally get it.
no, not
No,
at the time. Now,
no.
yes, but not at the time.
Well, ah, So one of my favorite stories. So here's one of my favorite stories about
Okay.
someone getting published. Gerald Brandt met Sheila Gilbert of Daw Books 2 years, right prior to
I
getting.
know, I know. I helped him write his query letter.
That's awesome. I did
Yes.
not know that. Well,
I read his book, and he was putting up his query letter, and I'm
that's
like,
very
"Gerald, this is
cool.
crap.
That is
Here.
no, no,
Here's
no,
what
no.
I would do."
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes, I know
Thank you.
Gerald.
Yeah. So, but I think my favorite part of though it wasn't like he met Sheila
Yep.
and he met her. She didn't know she was taking pitches that week, and that was one of those things that just
Yep.
magically
Yeah.
happened. I've met
Yep.
Sheila, by the way. Sheila's an awesome person.
Okay.
But the thing about that whole experience was it wasn't until he really got to talk to her and get to know her as a person that she really looked at his work.
Yep.
And so my tendency is this is how I look at it. It doesn't matter what part of the business it is. It's a people business at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So you have to establish relationships with people in order to evolve.
Yes.
Now that said, that's only part of the equation. The other part is you got to have a damn good story that people
Yeah.
want to read. And that
Yeah,
is
his was
probably
a good story.
yeah.
His
No,
was
he had no,
absolutely a
no,
good
no,
story.
he had a fantastic story.
Yeah.
But the thing was, again, it takes both. Like it's we don't like, and I think it's always been that way.
Mhm.
I just think what tended to happen in the in earlier times,
Mhm.
there was a lot more, there was a lot less, there was a lot more barriers between
Oh,
communication.
yeah. Yeah.
Now those barriers are gone, so it's almost
Mhm.
like how can I and like I said, and I do this
Mhm.
even with people I query to for pitches for magazines is I'll if I can get to know them a little bit because people
Mhm.
will go, well, isn't that kind of scummy? It's like, no, I want to establish a relationship with them
Yeah.
because yes, there is a very yes, I want them to read my stuff, but also as someone trying to make a living doing this,
Mhm.
if I know them, I can serve them better than being a complete stranger.
Right, right.
It's just good business, right?
And you learn from everybody around you. I mean,
Mhm. That's
it's
why I do
funny
the show.
it's so funny that you chose Gerald Brandt as that
Yeah,
that
because
example, 'cause I'm like, "I wrote his
that's fantastic. I will have to bug him about that.
query."
But no, because it's an amazing, he's a sweet guy. Like he's
Yes, he
legitimately
is.
he's a super sweet guy.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. Like when
Mhm.
so you get him with a shot in him, he's a
Mhm.
lot more outgoing and it's great because
Yeah, oh, yes.
he's right a little bit, but
Mhm.
he he might be one of the sweetest guys I've legitimately met in the industry.
Right.
And I because but he's so quiet. I did not when I interviewed him for my podcast the
Yeah.
first time, I was so shocked how quiet he was. Right? Because
Okay,
again,
yeah.
I've seen him at writers conference be much louder. So when you get to the interview, it's like you're just this really quiet, sweet guy. It's like it's kind of nice. And then he tells me his story. He tells me his story, and it's also a very sweet one
Yes.
because Sheila, like, and then I got to hear it from Sheila's end actually
Yep.
years later, and same thing. Like, yeah, like Gerald, you've done well in this life. You got a lot of people that believe in you, so me
Mhm.
included. So, right. I'll have to send him. I'll have to send him this episode
Yes, you will.
just because I think he'll appreciate the. It's a small
The
like, and
irony.
it's also the
Isn't it
biggest truth.
ironic?
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of ironic, but
Yeah.
it's a small world.
Yes,
It's
it
legitimately a
is.
small world. So you just
Mhm.
I but again, so it's a matter of being honest. It's a matter of being like there's a balance there. You can't you like in this. I don't think today a writer can be a recluse anymore. I do, however,
No,
believe
I don't think so. Yeah.
yeah, but it's still at the end of the day, it is about how good your story is, right?
Mhm.
So I try to do the best story I possibly can, and hopefully I don't fuck it up too much, and then go to my editor, please fix this, and she probably just like got to do like there's a couple of these, like what is wrong with you?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
but
But I know my flaws. I know I'm comma deficient.
You're
and it's
coming.
I'm comma deficient, and it's very funny because working with Katie when we were writing the books, she's like the Shatner comma or the Walken comma, and I'm comma deficient. So together we do okay.
Note to self: next time I have Katie's coming on the show in January, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do a William Shatner impression.
Yes.
Katie, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Jane tells me you love
The
commas.
Shatner comma.
Yeah. To which case, she'll be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah. She told me. She's like, Jane talks too much. Yes, I do. And I drink a lot of water.
You drink a lot of water.
Mm,
See, but that's the best thing about you. It's like, I mean, the thing I really admire about you is you, much like me, you openly don't give a shit. That's why I think we get along so well.
yeah, I'm like the honey badger.
So I should be afraid of you. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
yes,
Gotcha.
yes, yes. Afraid of me because
A
I
little
don't
bit.
give a shit.
Well, yeah, it just no, because
Hmm.
honey badger is like the only thing a little bit scarier than a honey badger is a wolverine. Like
Yes.
that's the only thing that Wolverines just don't care at all.
Yeah.
Honey badger's just like, I ain't letting nothing walk on me,
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
it's like, and at the event, so if you get into a fight with a honey badger, it's like, did you win? No, but I don't think we're doing this again. We came to an understanding, you
Yes.
know, we came to an understanding. Did you win? No, anything but a honey badger. Okay, but no,
Right.
but like, but this the
we're
thing.
we're like way off the rails.
Oh yeah, I don't care. This is my show. We can be
We're
off the
like
rails all
that
we want.
way.
It's all good. Like, we're just. I
Yes.
mean, this is like we knew we knew we were going to BS when you came on here. So I
Oh, I
mean,
know. I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm kind of glad we're earlier because I got two releases out and the second one was supposed to be the 21st. That's why you had me next week.
yes,
I moved it to the 7th.
I know.
That's one of the things I love about being an indie author. I can move the dates
Yes, you can. No, you can. You
to
totally can.
to a point. To a point. If you're already on a pre-order, you can only go up so far. But
Yep.
I was like, yay! Well, my
No.
editor made it possible. So
Kudos to your
thank you, Faith.
editor.
Faith. Oh my
Okay.
God, I just blanked. I almost said somebody I work with at the day job.
Well.
It's Faith at Atwill. Atwill. No, it's not. It's like, what the fuck is it? Yes, senior moment. Okay.
I'm not saying a word.
No, you're just making me laugh. You're just
Uh,
making me laugh. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're making me
And
laugh hysterically. Yes.
and it's like well,
How do you spell her
it's
name?
Faith,
Yes.
as in Faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then the company is Atwell, Atwell.
I
And
will
I
do
know
this.
she's in here somewhere because I asked her for another
So
date.
Faith at that. Well, I'm just putting it out there. Hi.
Yeah, yeah. Jane had a senior moment.
That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, I didn't, like I said, I've already gotten what I really a lot out of this already
It's
because of
it's really funner. It's really funny because my mother does this too. When she's put on the spot, she just blanks out. So I blame it on my mother.
okay, Mom, it's your fault. It's your
Mom,
fault. Yeah.
yeah. It's at the Atwater Group.
At the Atwater Group.
Faith Williams. Why can't I remember Williams? My main character on one of my early books was Steve Williams, so it should be all I remember is
There you
Faith.
go. We're doing this
Yeah.
right. We're putting it in there right,
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep. Faith Williams at Atwater Group. Yep. But
my show tends to I'm sure whoever's listening is laughing their ass off
yeah, they're
right
like,
now.
oh. Well, today I had the phone to my ear and I'm talking to my son and I'm looking around and I'm like, I have no idea where and then I realized and I started hysterically laughing because I was going to say where my phone was. this has been my week, okay? So
You know what?
welcome to the,
I've had one of those weeks too.
yeah,
I've had one of those. You know, some of the other stuff I can't talk about. It happened to me literally
yeah,
right before I came on the show.
yes.
But I mean, between the commercial, between just between everything kind of happening right now, it just
Mhm.
I actually get a break tomorrow, which I don't like.
That's nice.
I haven't
That's
had
nice.
in like a week. I've been working pretty
Mhm.
much nonstop for the last week, and I
Mhm.
do need a little bit of a break. I'm still
Yes.
gonna be writing tomorrow, but
Well,
that's all I have to quote unquote have to do.
writing, yeah. I haven't written since Monday, because Tuesday we were in transit, Wednesday we were taking care of the littles, and then in transit. Yeah, and
Nice.
taking care of the littles, that was just yesterday. Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's a 9-month-old and a 3.5-year-old. Yes, and trying to work at a day job at the same time and run meetings on the phone with a 9-month-old in your arm and a 3.5-year-old running around.
yeah.
This is
This
why I'm like this. So it's probably better than when I had the shots.
you don't need drugs. I'm already wired.
I
Fuck
I
this.
know. I'm already, scatterbrained right now. But
No, well,
yeah, I
it's not that you're like honestly, you're super like you've just juggled so much of this stuff for so long
yeah,
that it's like you've I'm not gonna say you're okay with everything because I mean
yeah,
there's some stuff that has to be worked out, but
yeah,
you you're resilient. And
yes.
that's that's just like you learn to be resilient in this life and you're like, I'm not gonna let anything rattle me. I'm just gonna keep going because that's all you can do really. Um So that's all you can do. And you're like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna and how dare you, you rebel you. You're gonna try to have at least a little fun no
Yes.
matter what. And
Yep.
honestly, I wish more people dealt with stress that way.
Yeah,
Because
well, the
I think we'd be a better world.
my blood
You
pressure isn't high.
no,
Uh, you know, I do get stressed out,
sure.
but,
Everybody does.
yeah, everybody does, but I find laughing and, you know, well, leave people on the page help.
And so
Honestly, there you go. That's why I'm so balanced.
hey, listen,
Let me laugh at all the dumb people on the
I had this
page.
conversation. I had this conversation with a few women. I see. Something as I've gotten older, I've realized women
Mhm.
aren't necessarily like everybody thinks the traditional thing is flowers. I
Mhm.
realize as I've gotten older, it's skulls. Like skulls or chocolate.
Mm.
See,
Chocolate skulls.
there you go. See,
There you go.
and I actually and I had one of these like epiphany moments. I suddenly understood my ancestors right
Mhm.
a lot more because again I have Maltese like so we got conquered by everybody
Yeah.
kind of like that Arabic I don't give a fuck attitude and then but I'm also got bit of a German Viking in me. So I feel like this is more my German Viking ancestors. They met
Mhm.
a woman they really, really liked, and it's like, what would impress me? And they would be like the skulls of my enemies. And so
Mhm.
I now understand guys a lot more. It's like, why did you scalp your victims? Now I understand. It had
Mhm.
nothing to do with what they wanted. They're like,
Mhm.
my wife digs this. I don't understand. I don't understand, but my wife digs this, and I want her happy because she might do it to me. And that's
Mhm.
that's a and
Mhm.
there is and I understand again. It's just one of those moments of epiphany for me. It's like I now understand human
Mhm.
nature a little bit better. We
Well,
all
I'm
like
English, Irish, and Scottish, and I
so yeah,
married a Frenchman, so yeah.
so
100 French.
No, but
Mhm.
okay, that does kind of make sense. For English and the French, as much as they hate to admit this, are two sides of the same coin,
Right.
right? They're two sides of the same
We're
coin.
opposite. We're total opposites, as we said in the
Yeah,
show on Saturday. I don't know if it was before the show or
but
whatever,
it was
but
before the show, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, Katie did mine, and then I had her do my husband, but we're opposite in the complimentary way. And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that makes
well,
sense."
but there are also there also are some similarities. Like there are
Mhm,
similarities with you two as well, or wouldn't work. But
mhm,
you balance each other because what one has the other doesn't, and
Mhm.
so you guys work together and it works for you.
Mm.
Um, you know, so someone like a guy like me, which says like I have everything internally I need, externally is my challenge,
Mhm.
right? Um, which again, I've gotten very good at opening my big mouth and asking for help, and so
Mhm.
I'm slowly working on that at least a little
Yes.
bit. Um, so the thing about it is you we find people we
Mhm.
find what we often find in everybody we meet is a little bit of ourselves and a little bit of
Mhm.
ourselves, the good and the bad,
Mhm.
and a little bit of how we could be better. Or sometimes we meet somebody I find and it's like I could be that person, or
Mhm.
I've been there, or I could be like
Mhm.
there's a little bit of both there. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't ever want to be that person. Sometimes the
Mm.
person people you might they teach you what not you don't want to be. And then
Right.
sometimes you meet people that inspire you to be better. And
Yeah.
it's so and but in all those steps and all those things, there's a little bit of in all of us there is ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
I
mean, yeah, between the 2 of us, we're both overachievers, so
yeah.
I feel bad for my children, but they got
No, don't be. They you know
they
what?
they got
They
the the genes.
well, they have the drive you guys have. They'll surpass you,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
And hopefully they'll learn from you. They'll learn
hopefully.
hopefully they've learned from you. Um,
Mhm.
like one of the things again, this is thing that now I've gotten to like my quote unquote middle age, and I can look where I am like my parents and where I am not like my parents.
Mhm.
Right? I can look at the things about my parents, both of them, that I admire. I can look at
Mhm.
things for both of them I don't.
Mhm.
I also can accept the fact that I am going to get some of both of those traits. Things I
Yeah.
admire, things I don't. But I also am going to accept it. And some of that I can change. Some of that I absolutely can change. It's just
Mhm.
about being honest about what those qualities are. And
Mhm.
it take again, that's just being a very honest self-assessment. Um, I used to be a lot harder on my mom because we don't really have the greatest relationship. We still
Mm.
don't. But
Mm. I'm
I'm not
sorry.
well, it is what it is.
Mm. Mm.
I'm not like like
Mm.
the it's been so long a certain way, you just kind of the thing about
Mm.
kids is if you go about a certain way with your kids, eventually your kids are going to accept it. Good, bad, or indifferent, your kids are going to accept whatever it is you give them.
Mhm.
So this is something I've kept in mind very much with both my parents, right?
Mhm.
So younger days, but I'm a lot more. I believe it or not, I'm a lot more empathetic with some of the decisions my mom made now
Mhm.
than I did when I was younger because I understand them a lot better,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I understand them a lot better. Consequently, I'm not. I'm also. I mean, just the nature of my relationship with my dad, I'm not afraid to stand up to him anymore, right?
Mhm.
Because I know, again, I'm old enough and developed enough to
Mm.
have my own opinion on things.
Yeah.
We're not gonna agree on everything, but after all our stupid little blowups for no goddamn reason, because
Mhm.
that is how families work.
Mhm.
We get along, we talk, we reflect on things, and like I
Yep.
said, I can appreciate my dad as a man a lot more
Mm.
now because I see him more like that. And again, he's always going to be my
Mm.
dad, but
Mm. Yeah,
but
my I mean, I have, I guess, an atypical childhood. I grew up in a happy family. I mean,
oh
totally
sure,
happy. I mean, my dad was like my hero for the longest time. You know,
so
he still
mine
sort
too.
of is. He's a big teddy bear. Um, and he's got
Oh
and I think hopefully I have his sense of humor because he is phenomenally funny.
yes,
Yes, and, my mom's a little bit
yeah.
more prim and proper, uh, so in that way, I'm probably more like my dad.
I somehow feel that he has a great ability to relax and be
Mhm.
right. I get the
Yes.
feeling your mom was quite resilient. And that's maybe where you get
Mhm.
that from.
Mhm.
But your dad was always able to relax, and that's
Oh,
a good like
yes.
yeah, that's a good quality.
Oh, yes.
Uh, but like I
I
said,
mean, he for instance, he ran a division at a big insurance company for marine underwriting, and he wrote the manual for the field. He said nobody ever looks at this, so he
Mhm.
put a fake thing in there for a Guernsey ferns. It was a Guernsey ferns rider for the insurance. Nobody caught it. It went out to the field, and, and it was just he went out. I think he went out to a an actual field and got a real close up picture of a cog on a wheel and put that in his
Oh yeah.
and nobody caught it. Of course, this was back in the 80s,
Actually, but you know what? It's even truer today in some ways
Yeah,
because
yeah,
okay,
or
where we both have
70s, I
some,
don't know.
where we both, I'm gonna say is where we both have something in common. My dad was my hero too. Still is.
Mhm,
A little, he
mhm,
always will be a little bit my hero. I just see him a
mhm.
little bit more as a human being
Yes,
than I
yes,
did as a kid, and that's
yes.
good. I need to, but
Mhm,
when it comes where my dad, where I will always admire my dad, he has
mhm,
helped more people than he'll
mhm,
ever admit, and he
mhm,
has an incredible heart with helping people, especially from suffering.
mhm. Yep.
Right? He has his great, and it's probably his most heroic quality, to be perfectly honest with you. And
Mhm.
in that sense, he's one of the best men I've ever met in my life.
Aw, yeah,
Yeah, no, so I can say that in all
yeah.
honesty, like there are very few people like that.
Mhm.
He will do, and he'll drop everything in a heartbeat and be there for you. And
Yes.
I
Yeah.
cannot ask for a better
Mhm,
parent than that. But it's one of those things where going back now to the other end of this, something
yeah.
I definitely noticed in this last little while,
Mhm.
I realized that maybe the smartest person in the room is the person that reads the instruction manual. And
Yes!
that sounds
That is
stupid.
totally on point.
But yeah.
I mean, this is a woman's view.
No,
You gotta have the manual.
like this is something I've learned just learning those skills I picked up in the last little
Mhm.
bit. I'm reading a fucking manual. It's not
Mhm,
like this is hard shit to find.
mhm,
Even when I research stuff, like I said, some of the stuff we
mhm.
talk off the air, I research stuff. It's
Yeah,
readily there. It's not hard to find.
right.
You can look. It's not in any magical spot. It's literally out in the open,
Mhm.
and no one reads this stuff. And
Well,
I have come to the conclusion. I have come
Mhm,
to the conclusion, and
mhm,
I did an interview with a photographer buddy years ago. He said, "How did you get so successful with this?" It's like, "I've read the damn instruction manual." I
mhm.
thought he was joking. No, he's fucking right. It is
Yes,
really that simple.
yes, it is. It
It's like,
is. It's like when the light pops on for low tire pressure, and you're like, all the tires are fine.
yeah,
Google it. It's the temperature difference in a Prius.
yes.
Yes. I'm like, are we gonna stop? No. Like, okay.
But you get and here's the thing, like it's just one of those really
Mhm.
things. Like we live in an age today where information
Mhm.
is literally at your fingertips. You
Yes.
can find anything,
Anything.
anywhere, open
And
source.
and
Like,
some yeah, some of it's scary,
yes,
some of it, some of it's really scary and probably not the right thing to Google when you have a, test result or
I
something.
see, so between you and me, I have stopped using Google as a search engine. Like when I
Yep.
actually get information, I use other engines because they're
Mhm.
better.
Yeah.
Google might be like it's the engine that's built on business, but it might
Mm.
legitimately be the shittiest search engine out there today.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, that was not true. About
Right.
2008, 2009, it was the best engine
Right.
by default. But
So what one do you
now
use?
I use DuckDuckGo.
Okay. All right.
I use DuckDuckGo. Or depending on what I'm looking up. If I'm looking up, say, certain scientific breakthroughs and researches,
Mhm.
I know where all the preprints are now.
Okay.
So I start looking there.
Yep.
Sometimes what I find there is depressing. Sometimes what I
Mhm.
find there is really helpful.
Yep.
It depends on the day.
It's a
Um,
crapshoot.
but the thing is, again, I don't have to go to the media anymore. I just
Right.
like there because
Right.
I just go, okay, what's really going on? I can go here and find out exactly what's going on
Yep.
because the information is clear as day. I'm not getting any like narrative, nothing. This is the
Mhm.
data,
Yep.
right? Some of it's open to interpretation.
Yep. Oh,
That's
data
all. That's
always
all.
is.
Yeah. It always is.
Mhm.
But, but
Yep.
you want a
It
really clear understanding of what's going on. And by the way, this doesn't just apply to science. This applies
right.
to everything. This applies to
Everything.
everything,
Yeah, everything.
right? There are places where information is common as fuck. It's updated all the time.
Mhm.
I don't follow it every day, but I
Mhm.
can know where to go to get it every day.
Mhm.
And it's not like a crazy conspiracy site. It's not any of that stuff. It's
Right.
sometimes the scariest stuff I've ever read is literally from the government's own statistics.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. It
It's the
it
scariest
usually
shit you'll ever read.
it's yeah, modern day horror.
Yeah, I know it is because here's the thing: it's the most credible stuff you'll find.
Mhm.
Ironically enough, it is the most credible. They're not like what's in it for them, but no one reads, and it's
Mhm.
incredible to me. I mean, if you want to talk about the most ironic thing of our time, we have more access to information today than we've ever had,
Ever had. And I think
and
that overload is and people ignore it.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's funny. So
Mhm.
going back full circle, the guy reading the instruction manual might be the smartest guy in the room is
Mhm.
probably the truth.
Yes.
Maybe the only guy smarter is the guy that wrote the damn thing to begin with. That's
Right,
it.
which he had to go through trial and error to write it.
Yes. So again, so
So you're
if you
getting, smart and
yes.
experience.
Yeah. So like so it's like literally, if you write an instruction manual, you might be the smartest person in the room. If you read
Mhm.
the instruction manual, you're in the top 5. I promise you,
Mhm.
you're in the top
Mhm.
5.
Absolutely.
I never I and that's the thing I think that boggles my mind today. That's the thing. Like I think in the 80s this was true then too. Part of it's just
Mhm.
laziness. Like we
Yeah.
live in an intellectually lazy like
Yes.
and we do part of it's
Or or
time.
or
Part of it's
the
time too.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Don't question me. Don't do it. And it's like, oh no. Oh no. You just put, the X and the Y screw and the Y and the X screw and it's not going to work.
So like I said, my ninth rule: don't fall in love with outcomes. That's where this comes from.
Yes.
That's literally where it comes from. Because it's like I know what I'm doing. I am totally admit I am clueless about this whole journey. In
Mhm.
fact, the older I get, the more clueless I become. That either
Yeah,
means
it's
I've
like,
gotten smarter or dumber. I'll let
I
you all figure that out.
I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants and go for it.
Pretty much. And
Yeah.
be smart enough that when someone goes, "Hey, have you considered this?" I may not go with it, but at least I'll think about it.
Yeah, you'll consider it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll go, "Okay."
yeah.
I have the prerogative to change my mind too.
Oh, sure. Everybody does. Everybody does. I mean, that's the
Yes.
thing, right? Like, I think the one thing about this world that I think is really interesting is, again, it's not what you. There's no right or wrong way to. Like,
Right.
a friend of mine said this. There's no right or wrong choice, but there
Mhm.
are right or wrong reasons, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
think I think she's right. I agree with her on that.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you know what? I think there is definitely a truth there.
Yeah,
So,
but there are some definitely wrong choices, like,
oh, sure, but
taking your car and riding through a parade is not right.
no, no, probably not.
No,
Probably not.
Mm.
But if I've come to the point of that choice, I haven't learned from a lot of the mistakes I
Right.
made along the way.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
that is not a that is not the first choice you make in this life. Right?
No,
It's probably your last, and there was a lot of other choices in the middle that you
that kinda
just
went
did not. Yeah, you didn't
Mm.
didn't look right. You
Yeah,
were just
didn't
right.
look, didn't learn, didn't,
Yeah,
Didn't reflect. You
that's
need to
right.
reflect as well, going, maybe this is not the right thing to do.
But so again, like
Yeah.
going back to it, I think all in all, like the choices we make, the things what we want to do,
Mhm.
more often than not, there's no mistake in making any of those choices. There's mistake we make mistakes in how we do something sometimes, but
Right.
we can learn that. But like, okay, your choice. You're going to retire. You're going to become a towering, best-selling author, and you're tackling your way of doing it, which is,
Yes.
by the way, a very laudable goal. It's possible
Mhm.
too. It's very
Yes,
possible,
it is.
right? So, but that doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes in how you do it. You're going to do the best you can with what you know how,
Oh, I know. I'm
and
sure I'm gonna make mistakes along
oh,
the way.
totally,
I mean,
right? Totally.
that
But
business letter.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's that. And I will never I will never forget how small the world is. Gerald Brandt is definitely hearing
Yes.
from me after this. Yeah, I'm gonna mention I had no idea Jane helped you with your query letter. It's like, oh yeah, she did. It's like that's cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of nice things about you in the last episode.
Yep.
But here's the thing, right? The initial choice was not incorrect.
Mhm.
You making mistakes, even mistakes sometimes are like, again, I've made a shit ton of mistakes this week. It's been great, but I've learned an
Yeah,
incredible.
it happens.
Yeah, but I've also learned an incredible amount this week
Mhm.
too. So it's
Yes.
like I'm not like I don't feel like I didn't gain. I didn't get what I wanted,
Mhm.
but that's okay too. Like that just means I didn't get what I wanted today.
Mhm. Which means
Tomorrow,
tomorrow, maybe. Yes.
but tomorrow I'll be better prepared for it.
Yes, exactly,
Right, I'll be better
exactly.
prepared, unless I'm stupid enough to do the same mistake again. In which
Yeah,
case,
hopefully you won't be.
for the most I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna cross my fingers a little bit.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
try because, again, one of those things is I've also come to terms with, I'm not a perfect human being.
Right.
There are some mistakes I'm going to universally fuck
Mhm.
up with. I just
Yes.
that's just it. I'm gonna have to live with that a little bit.
Mhm.
Josh, in this particular instance, you're always going to be a little bit like you're not gonna get it. And that's fine.
Mhm.
Again, just and then some of those you're like, you might be able to change this.
Mhm.
You might. Yeah, I might. Okay. I might make this mistake a ton more times. Yeah, I know. I know. Right.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at, right? That's I mean, we
Mhm.
all have things we need to work on, and we're all going to make mistakes. I think but the important thing, I guess, is when I guess this conversation, what we're talking about is, pay attention, do the best you
Yep.
can with what you have,
And
be
ask
okay.
questions. Yeah.
Hmm.
Ask questions if you're unsure. Don't, don't just plow ahead, and think you already know. If you have that doubt, ask, reach
Yes.
out. Yeah,
Yeah. And,
exactly.
and
Mhm.
don't fall in love with the outcome. Just learn from it.
Mhm.
Don't fall in love with it. Learn from it, and
Mhm.
then take it to the next step. Like keep yourself detached, because if you can do that,
Mhm.
the process, what you really want, will be always within your reach, because it'll be much harder to lead you astray. You'll never
Mhm.
stop making mistakes, but you will stop. You will stop being so attached to this particular way of doing things, which
Right.
I think is best for all.
Yes.
So, are you gonna do the TikTok like pig pen dance on shot day?
I will do it. I'll say I'm doing it because Josh asked me to.
That'd be fantastic. Send me a link when you do it.
I hope they have I hope they have the Peanuts the Christmas dance.
Oh, you can find
You know
that.
what I'm talking about?
Na 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 na
Yeah.
na 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 na.
Yes, exactly.
I remember that. I grew up watching that. Like that was one of my favorite
Oh.
like Christmas Carol ones, right?
I don't know if I could do it without hysterically laughing and falling on the floor, but we'll see.
But you don't. That see again. I'll pop for that. Like see
Yeah.
again. Yeah, right. If you break down and laugh in the middle
Yes.
of this, then I've already kind of won. Yeah. I've
Like
won.
that'll be impossible not to laugh. So
Yes. Yeah. I'm just saying,
it'll just be the degrees of it. Am I gonna laugh so hard I pee my pants?
that's it. That's the best thing, right?
Yeah.
Light,
Mm,
go, the other thing, yeah, I think the other thing, again, I think you're really cool. And one of the things I think
mhm,
that's really cool about you is, again, you mentioned this earlier, you have a way to laugh and you're relaxed and resilient under pressure. But
mhm,
also, like, that kind of makes you the ultimate rebel. One of the biggest lessons of the last 2 years has been joy is rebellion.
mhm.
Joy is the ultimate form of rebellion, and the fact that you can find ways to laugh and keep going and come up, like I said, we're talking about fucking pig dance here from
Mhm.
Peanuts.
Mhm.
And some people listening to this will be like, well, what's so important about that? It's not what she's doing, it's the little
It's
bits of
it's
joy.
it's the embracing the silliness.
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
that's it. Because we are a silly,
Mm.
silly, silly people, and
Mhm.
it's okay to embrace that little truth about ourselves.
Yes.
Ah, so we should probably talk about your newest release a little bit before we wrap up here, just a little bit. I got that. I just bought that.
You got the first one in this series.
Yeah,
This is the
yes.
last one.
That's
This
not.
is
That's the
Oops,
first
this way.
one.
This is the last one.
No, it's the first one. Season of
No.
the Dragon Book 1. That's what it says on the front.
Fuck. I have to tell my
God, see, told you.
Okay.
I read the instructions. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna have to tell my that is actually book 3. So I've got to tell my cover artist that because they screwed up and I didn't proof that piece of
that's
but
fantastic.
then okay, so we'll go this way.
Hey, we'll go that way. That one works.
Yes, I'm gonna have to tell them that and fix that because it's
Yeah,
book
yeah, yeah.
3.
No,
Yeah.
see, true story.
Yep.
Because we're no longer friends. I still remember this. I still remember magazine cover. One of my
Yep.
favorite stories when I was working for this person. They showed me the first proof copy of their magazine.
Yeah.
Instead of literary magazine, it was literary magazine. And the best thing about that was
Yep.
everybody missed it. Everybody missed it. The proofer, the editor, both of them,
The
everybody that looked at the book missed the front cover until it was like just like right like that.
the ebook is correct.
Yes.
The ebook is correct. The print copy is not. Because I just looked. I just looked. So the ebook is correct.
Okay.
Yes, the ebook says book 3. And yes, I have to, yep, book 3.
No, hey, at least, hey, I did you a solid,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I gotta look at that and say,
Let's see which
oops.
one. I gotta make sure I got the right one then. Nope, I got Dragon Tempest is the first one,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay, so I got
Dragon
Dragon
Tempest is the
Tempest.
first one. I'm like, no, no,
Yeah,
that's
okay. I
not
was just making sure. Just making sure. So I want to make sure because I buy. I want to make sure I got them. It's like that's Dragon Dawn. It's like looks like book 1 to me, Jane. It's like no,
Yeah,
it's not. It says
no,
book
it's
1.
book 3. It's like, Julie, I'm coming after you after the show.
Julie, listen,
Julie, yeah.
Julie,
Ju
run,
Julie of
run.
Jules and Jar. Yes. No, it's okay. I didn't catch it.
You can say I caught it. It's like Josh caught it on the air.
Josh caught it on the air.
It's like, and Julie
The
would be like,
ebook is right, but the background, but this one isn't.
so can you make sure all the other ones are right? Because that's going to be
Yes.
awkward and embarrassing and
Yeah, the
very
other ones
confusing.
are. I guess I have all 3 of them.
Like I said,
But yeah,
I always say the same thing to everybody. It's just
I need new glasses.
oh, sure.
I haven't been in 2 years, so yes, I do need new glasses.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. No, that's totally fair.
And these are actually an old pair because my newer prescription, the stupid little thing right here, broke off
Mhm,
completely. So I can't wear those. So I
mhm.
haven't been able to see clearly for a year. Ta-da!
That's amazing. I have no words. It's amazing. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well,
So as
thank
you
you
can
for
see,
catching that. And on that note,
before we wrap up, I Okay. You
Of
you've
course.
had to distinct you have cracked me more than just about any other guests I've had. I gotta say, like, you've cracked me more. Just like I
Yes.
cannot stress enough how openly refreshing it is to talk to you because it's just like no, because you're yourself. I think the one thing people think like again, I mentioned this. I did a job interview about a year
Mhm.
ago when I was still occasionally looking for something to do.
Mhm.
I cracked the guy interviewing me. I cracked him because I was just so honest with everything I was saying. He just looked at me. He broke down about halfway through the interview. He's just like, you know, I love this. No bullshit. Like no bullshit. Just yeah, because I don't have time for it. I just don't have time for bullshit. I just
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Most people try I think the weirdest thing a lot and then we'll plug Silent Night a little bit as well because we
Okay.
probably should. But
Mhm.
I think the weirdest thing I think I've learned in this, I got one of the weirdest things. It's hard work to bullshit yourself.
Oh, yeah,
Why do
it
people
is.
do it so much? Because I did so
Because
hard.
they figure kissing ass is the best way to go, and it's really not.
No. I mean, I'm at that point in my life. I just want to save time. Like I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need you to be like all in on what I'm saying. I don't
Mhm.
care. Right? I don't like look. You and I are probably going to disagree about some stuff. That's
Oh, I'm
cool.
sure.
Sure,
It's
right?
okay.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be laughing my ass off about the book for like the foreseeable future. It's gonna be great, right?
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. But here's the thing too. We can disagree and still be on each other's team. It's like, hey, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, and that's all good. If
Mhm.
my choices are to such a point that I can't tolerate you making, cool. That's great. You're saving
Mhm.
me time. You're saving us both time. It's all good. Like I'm not here. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to be
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
And I think, like I said, I think for the most part, I got a pretty decent head on my shoulders for the most part.
Mhm.
Right. And so for me personally, right, for me personally, it's more along the lines of the fact that, okay, now it's just finding the right people in my life. And if I'm kissing ass, if I'm doing this, I'm
Mm.
afraid of this, I'm never gonna find those people. They're gonna be, or
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna find people I can't stand. And I don't know what like that sounds like hell. Like it really does.
Mm. I I I don't do the bullshit thing at work either, which may be why I'm not climbing the corporate ladder.
But you don't want to. Like
No,
I
I
mean
don't.
no
I I
you
don't.
don't.
I don't. I just, but
Well no
it's just like,
you
I'm me. I will tell you how it is, and
yeah.
some people don't like
Lots of
that.
people don't like
Some
that.
people
Some
really like that, though. Some people really do like that and appreciate that.
well,
So,
it just
that's
it saves so much time.
yeah,
Right? It just
exactly.
saves so much time. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't care if you don't if you agree or don't. You want like you think I'm crazy or you don't. Just be open about it. I'll respect that a lot more than like, oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. And then you run to the other corner somewhere when the going
Yeah,
gets tough because that I
yeah.
can't tolerate. Right.
No, no.
But you're like, I think you're a crazy son of a bitch. Cool. Want a beer? Because I'm good with that too.
Yep.
Right.
There's nothing like, giving your boss one of your first books just to make sure they have a healthy fear of you. Yes, that's me.
Ay, 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 ay. It's not that I'm speechless. I'm just laughing. Like I'm just
Yeah.
laughing so hard. Here you go. Your boss is like, yeah, I'm like,
Okay, let's not piss her off. Tread lightly on her.
no, truthfully, I found the scariest thing I've ever done for people that shocks people. I'll say I'll do something and they'll laugh at you, then you do
Mhm.
it,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they don't know what to do. It's like,
Yeah.
right, right. It's like that's the scariest thing in the world. It's like you have the confidence to go out there and make it happen. It's like, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I said it. I said I was going to do it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Do you know, like, one of the promises I still remember, and I'm going to do this next year. No matter what, I'm doing it next year. I promised my grandmother as a kid I'd buy her a diamond.
Aw,
I'm going to do it next year. And
aw,
she's like,
that's
"Oh,
so
yeah,
sweet.
it's honest."
Mhm.
I remember my again, I remember my promises, almost all of them, right? Some of them I've not been able to fulfill, and that's because of just there are things beyond my control. And I mean,
Mhm.
they still bothers me a little bit,
Little
but I
bit.
also well, no, they bother me because again, again, there's always gonna be a little pride because you did say you were gonna do it, but you also accept the fact too. One of those promises, there was no way I could have. There was just no way to do it, and I
Right.
could I can like I can accept that the effort was there. It's just it wasn't going to happen
Mhm.
with other people. Like that's the thing. Like I think that one of the biggest things I realized in this life is you be careful what you promise because
Mhm.
I think deep down you have to keep it.
Yeah.
Or you have no integrity or no self worth, and that sounds like maybe a little harsh, but
Yeah. I never make a promise I can't keep.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
do everything in my power to keep the promises I have. But as I've gotten older, I've also been
Mhm.
very careful of the promises I do make.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Right.
So,
That
we're talking about this again. Do,
yes, we
do,
are
do, do,
now
do,
we're
do,
gonna
do, do.
now we're gonna get to this part here. First
Yeah.
off, I actually straight up, that's a kick-ass cover. And
Yes.
also, so who's she killing?
Monsters.
Monsters? That's
Monsters
awesome.
that are going after Santa
So she's
on
like Santa's
Christmas Eve.
personal she's like Santa's personal hitman. She's going out there and just
She's Santa's daughter.
ooh, you
Who
mess with dad.
protects her dad on
Oh,
delivering gifts, yep.
that's amazing.
And there's a little bit of Christmas magic in that. And
Oh,
that was written for my daughter.
that's sweet. How
Yep.
old's your daughter?
She is 26.
Aw.
Mhm.
Are you saying your daughter's secretly a hit woman?
No, she's a Christmas freak.
Ah.
So there's a reference to glitter in the book now, the published one. It used to be confetti, and she said there is no confetti on Christmas, it's glitter. So she read it and she gave me that feedback. I'm like, okay, okay, yes, Miss Christmas.
Sure. You
Yep,
write whatever you want.
glitter. It's glitter now.
That's
So yes,
amazing.
yes. So I wrote that for my daughter because she, as a young girl, probably 12 or 13, read part of my first book and it scarred the hell out of her. And she hasn't picked anything up since. And we were trying to tell her to read the dragon books, and she's like, no, I haven't, no. She said,
Wow.
you scarred me with a scene from this book I shouldn't have read it, but I did.
Oh god.
Yep.
When I was her age, that was the
Mhm.
first time I picked up Robert Heinlein post Stranger novels.
Yep.
That
No.
I shouldn't have read that at that age. I'm being very
Mhm.
blunt. I'm honest
Mhm.
about it, but you didn't
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was stepping into.
So she
Yeah.
read this and she loves it. So it's like, I wrote this for you. So you can
Aw,
understand that I can write something sweet.
you certainly can. But
But
I
it
also
still has
but
monsters and killing.
it's okay, Jane.
Yes.
Okay, there's a little bit of a there's like again, you're British, Scottish, like the
It's
Scottish
the
Highlanders,
Scottish.
yeah, the Scottish Highlanders and the German Vikings are very similar. They're not quite
Mhm,
the same,
mhm.
but
And then
but
you have the Irish.
Irish just there's somewhere between the Brits and the Scots.
Yes.
They got they get their fears, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've always been a little bit more terrified of the Scots than the Irish. Not that I don't think the
Mhm,
Irish aren't tough. I just feel like
mhm,
when a Scotsman gets really riled up, he means it. Like he
mhm.
really, really means it.
Yes.
And I've learned this. Like again, good people, very kind by and large, but you just don't. There's a
Yes.
couple places in the world where there's people you just don't piss off.
Mhm,
Scots, anybody from the Croatian area is in that same boat. Just
mhm.
no. Just
Just
no.
no.
Be on they're good again, good. Like there's a certain honesty and integrity to them, and they're just like once you cross the line with them, they just might
Mhm.
And it is might, man.
Mhm.
They they might regret it tomorrow, but they won't regret it in the moment.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's I've always had that impression. So like, so your inner Scotswoman, you know, I get it. If I ever meet you, if I ever meet you in person, chocolate
Yes.
skulls it will be. Okay,
Okay.
I'll find you some chocolate.
That works.
That works. I'll give you
That
some
works.
chocolate skirt. I'll give you some chocolate skulls. It's like, hi, I know you. This is not the skulls of your enemies, but I hope you're okay with this. And you'd be like, yeah, it's good.
Good.
It's good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll be
Totally.
happy.
Oh, okay. So on that
We've
note, I
blown
think
past the hour.
no, we did. We had some
Yes.
fun, and we had some
Yes.
fun. You are absolutely. I gotta say, you're always so refreshing to talk to. It's almost I would almost dare call you adorable, but I fear
Thank
I
you.
fear the wrath I might get on that. So
No, you know,
so
Rebecca calls me the adorable grandmother. Whatever that is.
yeah, it's yeah on
TikTok.
TikTok. You
TikTok.
got a dormant grandma TikTok account's what she said on the show. It was
Yes.
fun. So
So,
how we do we'll do this properly and then we'll wrap up. Why don't you
okay.
pitch your books as you want to pitch them, how
Okay.
people can find you, and then I'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well, Dragon Dawn, which is the third book, even though the print one says first, of the Dragon trilogy. It's a post-apocalyptic urban fantasy that takes place in New York, and the monsters come from uh, the deep to try to take over the world. And it's humans trying to stay alive, basically. Um, so that's the Season of the Dragon trilogy. And then the other book that we just talked about was Silent Night. That's basically a short Christmas urban fantasy. There's a sword that's really cool, uh,
This is
and
that's
some
really
fighting.
cool.
Yeah, a sword that's really cool, and some fighting, uh, and glitter, obviously. So you can find my books at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo, Google Play, iTunes. You can find me at www.jetaylor75.com.
Okay, hold on a second here. We're gonna do this properly here.
Okay.
We're gonna do this properly here. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Ta-da! Yep, there we go.
Boom. This is where you can
Yes.
find Jane. As you can see, I am always entertained by when she comes on the show. Right. As for everybody watching and listening, thank you for watching and listening. There is no show tomorrow, as I will be a guest on somebody else's Drink and Draw tomorrow. Rodney Fike has graciously invited me to come on his show, and I don't know what the heck I'm going to be drawing. Probably Zelda and chickens or something to that effect. I don't know. It's Rodney's show. I'm just going to be the pretty one tomorrow night. So we will be back next week with a whole bunch of shows. It's going to be an international week next week because I got guests from across the pond. I have Natasha Cooler Ralph. I have either Radinka Ostasia, and I did have somebody else I lined up. I'm almost certain of it. I don't really remember where it is right now, so maybe I should check my schedule. But I have again. So I got one person from England. I got another person from France next week. It's gonna be more of a daytime show next week, and also I'm just literally, as you can see, very, 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 very close to my 700th episode, as we're at 697 here. Yeah. So if you guys want to support me, the first thing you can do is order this bad boy right here, which is Alice 1. It is Alice in Wonderland is Greek mythology. Alice is Pandora. In this one, Alice plays Jason of the Argonauts, croquet in the underworld in a labyrinth. And on the way, they battle gods, monsters, demons, and maybe the greatest nightmare of all, themselves, in this wonderful little maze. I promise it is definitely worth the read. You can support the channel here. Hit the like, subscribe, enable notifications for Twitch. Same with my YouTube, Joshua Pantoresco. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. I will see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Bye.